Howdy folks, welcome aboard the channel. I'm Don. I've got a gift request from none other than a gentleman among gentlemen, MontaukEd, down in North Carolina. But he hails from Montauk Point, really, Montauk, New York, which is the east end of Long Island. So I'm wearing my NYPD hat in his honor. Hopefully you never had any run-ins with him, anyone that went bad. Ed, I imagine you ran into him once in a while, but anyhow, I hope it was a friendly encounter. All that said, Mary Chapin Carpenter's John Doe number 24. Ed made a gift to the channel for me to do this one, so Ed, thank you for this gift and request. And you said, good afternoon, Don. Let's go for Mary Chapin Carpenter's song John Doe number 24. Try to get it from the Tramps Like Us channel, which I did. So shout out to you, Tramps Like Us, for posting this. I think it was some time back, too. For me, I found this song to be just mesmerizing. It has several mini pauses toward the end of the song. Please listen through them. Be well to both you and Sean. Well, thank you, Ed, and thank you for thinking of Sean also, of course. And yes, I would, of course, listen through any pauses that come through, because I listen to pretty much to the end of every track. Every so often, if it has a long fade, I might sort of like, all right, I can talk now and just let the fade play in the background. But I don't know the song. It's a true reaction. John Doe number 24. Ooh, that's a lot of John Does. I don't think these are guys she's dating.
I read this obituary one day, and it was the headline of it that caught my eye, and it said, unknown since 45, John Doe number 24 takes his secret to his grave.
Yeah.
He was blind and he was deaf and mute, and no one knew where he'd come from. And for the rest of his life, he was known as John Doe number 24 because he was the 24th unidentified man in the Illinois state mental system. Then one day, I started scribbling, and as far as whatever tools I bring to the table as a songwriter, I really had to rely very much on those tools, imagining touch and smell and sounds and silence for that matter.
Yeah, that's brutal. She's a Jersey girl too, born in Jersey. Princeton.
Standing on this sidewalk in 1945 in Jacksonville, Illinois. When asked what my name was, there came no reply. They said I was a deaf and sightless half-wit boy. But Lewis was my name, though I could not say.
Ooh.
I was born and raised in New Orleans. My spirit was wild, so I let the river take it on a barge and a prayer upstream. Well, they searched for mother, and they searched for father, and they searched till they searched no more. And the doctors put to rest their scientific tests, and they named me John Doe number 24. And they all shook their heads in pity for a world so silent and dark. Well, there's no doubt that life's a mystery, but so too is the human heart. And it was my heart's own perfume when the crepe jasmine bloomed on St. Charles Avenue. Couldn't hear the bells of the streetcars coming by towing the track I knew. And if I were an old man returning with my satchel and pork pie hat, I'd hit every jazz joint on bourbon, and I'd hit everyone on bass, and after that
before DNA is well evident, How do you survive on your own like that?
Well, the years kept passing as they passed me around from one state ward to another, like I was an orphan shoe from the lost and found, always missing the other. And they gave me a harp last Christmas, and all the nurses took a dance. Well, lately I've been growing listless. I've been dreaming again of the past. I'm wandering down to the banks of the great big muddy where the shotgun houses stand. I am 7 years old and I feel my daddy reach out for my hand.
Always remembering.
While I drew breath, no one missed me, so they won't on the day that I cease. Put a sprig of crepe jasmine with me to remind me of New Orleans. I was standing on this sidewalk in 1945 in Jacksonville, Illinois.
Love this old footage, connecting it to the storyline. Wow. Boyd, huh? Oh, he died in 95, so it was for 50 years.
I took his voice in the song. I obviously took a great deal of license by doing that, but I was trying to, I guess, express things that I imagined, as well as sort of putting him in a context, making up a story as to where he might have come from. The marvelous and somewhat poignant part of all this is that since that song came out, I've been contacted by some of the people who took care of him, and they've been able to fill in some of the real details. And they said that he was much loved by everyone who took care of him. And that really did make me feel like this person had a life, and it did count for something, and he was not invisible. Sometimes songs can lead you to those places. It's a magical kind of thing.
Yeah, when your song's heard. The title of this thing, My Song Was Heard. Yeah, first, thank you to Tramps Like Us channel for putting that together. I don't know if you guys still check your channel or not, but certainly I'm going to put the link to it below. You might get some new views over there and stuff. But Ed, what a request. I mean, just your wealth of knowledge and awareness of what's out there. I mean, I know you're a big Mary Chapin Carpenter fan, and you've turned me into one as well, because this sort of storytelling goes beyond telling a story. You have to be aware, you have to care, you have to be a linguist, you have to make connections between these ethereal concepts like love and care and loneliness, being trapped inside your own body possibly. newspapers, headlines, the way people read it, law enforcement, medical advancement. I mean, there's so many aspects to this that are in it, but it all just sort of wrapped up in the end when she said people reached out and said he was loved, he was cared for. And that matters, you know. But I do wonder, what's it like? I've talked with a few of my friends too over the years too. I see just in random conversation, whenever, nothing too heavy. But I said, you know, I do wonder sometimes if I was wrongly committed to a psychiatric ward, like the, you know, stereotypical fifth floor, as they call it, the psych wards, and I was wrongly committed, but everybody there thought I was nuts just because I was there, like nuts. Everybody thought that I had some kind of, so no matter how sane I appeared, talked, looked, if I'm talking with you, if they're assuming, you know, the medical staff and the other folks there as well just talked to me like I had crazy issues, but I was in denial of them, how long could I hold out before I started to believe it? And I don't know if I ever would believe it. I'm sure I would try to hold on to my dignity, just like a person who's in prison who didn't commit it but was found guilty nonetheless is in prison knowing he didn't do it. And like that, I wonder, somebody who's deaf and mute, as they said here, and they said in the article, if you read the article, that he was severely retarded or severely mentally handicapped, as we say now. Maybe there's a new word for it. I don't know, because those words change, but it implies the same thing. That what would it be like to be trapped inside that body? And what would it be like for the parents to lose sight of their kid? Maybe the parents died. It's just one of those things. I don't know what to say. I'm not rating that one, Ed. Obviously, it would be it's a phenomenal recounting. You know, it's like the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, where Gordon Lightfoot wasn't on board the ship, but he read about it in newspapers and such, and that's where he put the storyline together. And then you became aware of the Edmund Fitzgerald if you weren't previously. And same thing here. And they reached out to her. So I'm going to leave that one be. That's in honor of John Doe Boyd, it turned out, Boyd, and he passed away in 95. So he had a long life, I think. I mean, they found him in 45, and he was already on his own. So maybe he didn't have a long one. Maybe he was 70. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to leave that one be. That's just a hell of a story. But that's definitely up there in the 10 range. I mean, the heart behind it is beautiful, but I'll leave it be. All right, guys, you can thank MontaukEd for that one. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video. Keep rocking the country.
The doctors put to rest their scientific tests, and they named me John Doe.